Good evening, everyone. Bob Kurtz live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College, right off at 231. And welcome to the 2023 edition of the Coach's Kage program here on 3KGthekage.com, back after a 2-week layoff. So we've got a lot of catching up to do with all the coaches from about the middle of December till right now. So Matt Sipkema from the North White Vikings boys basketball team has joined us. Matt, good to see you. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you. And how many games you played since the 14th, and go through them if you could.
Okay, we played 4 games since then. We opened up conference with Tri-County back in, I think, December 16th. We lost that game 53-42. I was really impressed with how well the boys came out. They came out with a lot of energy, came out a lot of enthusiasm. First time we really pressed all year. We've had trouble with our offense, so we wanted to get into it. We actually had, I think we had Tri-County down for 14 turnovers in the first half. Really had trouble with our press. Actually, we're up 24-23 at half. And then the third quarter, that was even. I think neither team really scored a lot, but we got down by 4 or 5 with about 3 minutes to go in the game, and there was a Tri-County on offense. There was a jump ball situation, ball on the ground, 2 guys dove on it. Their possession, I think they go up from 4 to make a bucket, get fouled, go up 7, and we go down, get a quick shot, doesn't go in, and they come back down and hit a 3. Kind of demoralizing, but it's like we lose by 11, but it's a 4-point ball game with 3:10 to go in the game, and
it can happen in a heartbeat.
It really can. And to Tri-County's credit, you know, because our offense is struggling so much at that point of the season, we really have to rely on creating turnovers. And with that, sometimes, unfortunately, with only playing 6 or 7 guys ourselves, by the third or fourth quarter, it's taken a toll on us a little bit. But it was nice to only give. I mean, the previous 3 games we gave up 60-plus points, so our defense was shoring up a little bit. But we were 0-1 in the conference at that point. The next night we get to play Twin Lakes, who's predominantly a really good 3A school. They had the Owsley boy averaging 17. We was able to take him completely out of the ball game. We held him scoreless at 0. However, their big kid, I can't think of his name right offhand, number 25, he ended up having like 15 or 16 against us, and they really owned the paint on us. But once again, we pressed them. They had trouble with it. We just have trouble scoring. I think going into the fourth quarter, it's 36-28 or something like that, and the wheels just kind of fell off at that point. We ended up losing 59-29, and you look at the score, you're like, you know, it's 30 points, but it's 10 with 6 to go. And you know, every coach has different philosophies. At that point, I didn't know if we could win the game based on the fact that we've only scored 28 ourselves at this point. We're down 10, but with still 7 minutes to go in the game, we're not gonna like just sit in a zone and just be content with losing by 10 or 12. A new team, a young team, we got to work on different situations. So we kept being aggressive in our defense. And they found the open gaps, and their JV came in and I went 6 for 6 for the floor and they ended up scoring like 26 in that fourth quarter. So lose that one, and told the boys, you know, I'm just proud of their effort. So we had a few days off, and we went up to Oregon Davis here, or South Central. We played in a tournament over the Christmas break on the 29th.
You're going to get on John Harrell a little bit here for that.
Yeah. And
messing up there.
Yeah, well, I'll have that. It's good to go here now. Just that first game, for some reason, I didn't have it. But yeah, we lose that game 54-46 is what the score was, and unfortunately, we just can't score. That's our problem.
Is it because you take bad shots, you have turnovers, or you're just not making the shots that you should be making?
A combination of all three, and part of that is because now, you know, in the first 4 or 5 games, we would just jack up a first 3 and without moving the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're like, we can get that 3 anytime we want. Let's slow down a little bit. Well, now they having to learn, like, what is a good shot, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
Coach says not to shoot this one. Well, I don't mind if you shoot it the second or third time through, but not, you know, right here. We're trying to go inside out with our threes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the part of that, too, is, like, we don't have the ball handlers we need. And we've had Dane Hood play a lot of guard. I don't want him at guard, but he's been
out of
having to do
position.
that. Yeah. But
by necessity, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Brendan and Lucas Smith, as the games have gone on, has gotten better with the ball. It's just getting into our offense. You know, I called a timeout over the break, was like, I'm using this 30-second timeout because what offense are we in? You know, we practiced over break. We didn't even practice defense. We just practiced offense, and we go out, and then we don't run an offense that we just spent 4 days on in a row. So,
That's
but
got to be frustrating.
it is. It really is. You know, Coach Smith has said, "Do you think it's just them not doing it, or I think it's just a combination of all of 2 or 3 things." I think the biggest thing is I even challenged the boys in between games last Thursday was we're just physically weak. We don't have very strong kids, and they can, our JV struggles, so they can get away with stuff in practice, and we just can't get in our offense. But you go back to the South Central game, and we forced 23 turnovers in the first half. And
no way.
And we're losing. We're losing. We're down. We're up 19-7, and then we just stuck on 19 for like 5 minutes.
Oh man, that's not a good combo.
No, and then we we're down by 1 at halftime. We go out. We score the first 8 of the third, and then we're staying with the press. It's what's getting us getting ourselves scoring, and then we have I think 5 bad possessions with 1 quick shot, 4 turnovers. In 3 of those 5 possessions, they hit threes. So I think it's like we're up 2 or 3 at that point, and then they go up 6 or 7, and then that's basically how it finishes. The fourth quarter is 13-12 scoring.
So even within a game, you play good and bad. Then.
Yeah, no, you just can't. Like looking right here, this South Central game, we lose 54-46. We're 8 for 19 from the foul line.
Not good.
Not good. We're 6 for 24 on threes, and we're 10 for 24 on twos. We should never be shooting the same amount of threes as twos. Not when you're shooting 20% from one and 45 from the other.
What would you like to shoot from 3? Well,
for the team we have right now, ideally about maybe 8 to 10 a game. We're going to make 2 of them. I mean, the basketball season is 4 months. It's hard to get a Saturday, but you've got to have something. And to his credit, our family's credit, we have such good fun. I'm kind of with it sometimes, but I'm also like, you got to take this group that raised this money and do something with it as well. So one of the things we do is obviously an in-season field trip every year. So good times. But we got back. We talked about OD. We're like, OD struggling, and we were like, hey, we need this win. Going into a New Year's break, we're going to have 5 days off. We got to get this win. And we actually had some situations with some players internally didn't go the way I wanted to leading up to that game. So we started 4 new guys that day for that game. And got down quick, did some substitutions and got in foul trouble. And I think we were down like 19-6 or 19-8. And then finally, got to give Coach Smith credit. He's like, man, we just got to go zone. We're short on our bench, and we don't have, Dane had 3 fouls in the first quarter. And we're down 19-6, 19-8. So we go 3-2 zone, and they can't shoot. I mean, they make 1 3 the rest of the game, and they bank that in. And we finally get some things going offensively. We get a nice weave going with some kickouts and some drive lanes open. And Artemio Benitez that game played his best game of the season, starting to figure it out as a senior this year, first time playing really. He finished with 10 and 10, which was huge. I think Dane finished with 25 that game, and Lucas Smith had 15 for us. So we ended up getting the win, 54-44. But more importantly, if you look at now our defensive average is down to 57. It's still pretty high, but compared to like 64 that it was at. I mean, people don't understand how hard it is to get that to come down as it goes up. So we're averaging 45. We're giving up 57.
Like to get that more to even.
Yeah. You look at our record, we're 2-7. And you look at the South Central game we could have gotten. You still go back to the North Miami game and a 15-point lead in the third. But just look at how much we progressed, from that first game of the season when we're up 15 and we're acting like we're down 15, and what we've learned and matured a little bit over the last 6 weeks and liking that game back. But, we had the opportunity to be at 4-5 right now, but it just didn't go. And now we get into the meat of the season with our conference teams coming up.
Is Saturday your next game?
Yep, we play Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, of course. And we'll have that game right here on 3KGthekage.com. It's a girls-boys doubleheader. North White over at South Newton. Looking forward to that. Rebels are struggling this year. Tell us about the game plan there.
Well, I went ahead and Ricky was talking about a guy that he had banged up, probably not playing. And I went ahead and told him, we've got a guy out, and
makes it even then.
Makes it even. And we were talking off the air about any win for us this year is going to be a struggle.
Sure.
And I talked to the boys at practice tonight. I wasn't very happy with the first part of practice. Second half was great. I said, I think this will be the first game where South Newton, he said that the boy might be able to go. We'll have all 5 starters. And, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be ready to go. And it's a conference game. I mean, it's going to be a grinder. Like I told you that off air, it's going to be a grinder. And
not much scoring, you probably.
I joked about that, but I don't know. I just think you're going to see a dogfight. Whatever it could be, score could be in the 30s, score could be in the 50s. But I think it's going to be a 4 or 5 point game either way.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. And
good for us. Maybe not good for you guys.
Well, it's just it's good.
Yeah.
It really is, because that's how we're going to win our games this year. And I know it sounds crazy being 2-7, but 0-1 in the conference. I really believe, I think North Newton and Faith Christian are just a little bit above everyone in conference this year. But the way their styles are, you can play with them. And I told the boys, hey, we being 0-1, you lose this game Saturday, your conference, I mean, you're probably not going to finish top 3 in the conference. With the North Newton and the Faith still coming up. So we've got to get this game, only game this week, with a lot of focus on South Newton, and the boys will come out ready to play.
And next week, what do you have?
We have only one game again, and that's going to be another conference game, Frontier. We got film on Frontier and South Newton. They played last week over at South Newton, and I think Dayton Hoover, boy, I put him up with Gagne from North Newton. Is probably the best 2 players in the league. They have the Schroeder boy, who's just all-American linebacker, and I mean, he's just a brute inside. And they have some different challenges they're going to present. They're going to be very physical. And then there's no you still think with Coach Smith coming over on our staff and leaving Frontier, and there's still this senior class was still with him. So when we get together with Frontier, at least in 1 other year, it's all about, man, we're going to go after these guys, and even if it's not about Coach Smith, it's still the schools are like 8 miles apart.
Right.
It's Frontier and North White, so it's going to be a battle. And if we don't play well, we're going to get beat. I mean, like I said, the Hoover boys is a great player.
All right, Matt, thanks for coming out tonight, and we'll talk to you after the game on Saturday night, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Matt Sipicum up from the North White Vikings boys basketball team. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
All right, back on the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thecage.com. Bob Kurtz along with Scotty Miller tonight. Our other partner, Bill Kay, a little under the weather these days, so Billy will expect you back on Saturday, hopefully. So when we're over at South Newton for a Midwest Conference girls-boys doubleheader, North White at South Newton. I believe that's a 5 o'clock Central Time girls start, followed by the guys game. So we'll be on the air with a pregame show around 4:45 Central Time on Saturday night. Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings has joined us. And, Brian, we have got a bunch of games to talk about. I think you said 8. We got to don't have to go into detail, but catch our listeners up to date on how the Vikes are doing.
Yeah, I think the last game or the first game that we had not talked about would have been going clear back to the Pioneer game December 8th. And, that was a team that, they've only got about 3 losses on the year right now. And we were playing them very tough in that game. Had led at the half. And then early in the third quarter, Abigail Spry, our senior point guard, it was about a minute into it, just stepped over on defense and, stepped on somebody's foot and ankle turned, and it was one of those that it was a major one. I mean, it swelled up really quick, and so we were without her the rest of that game. And
how's she doing now?
She's practiced this week and last week, and so we're hoping
back to normal.
She's gonna, I don't know about normal, but I mean she's looked good in practice so far. I mean, still I think she's going to favor a little bit, but try to play her tomorrow night. But that it was a struggle because I mean. Guard-wise, we're kind of thin at that position anyway. We're not as deep as we've been in the past, and we've had to fill in with different girls that aren't normally used to running that point guard spot. And that game we ended up losing by 6. I thought we fought really hard to the end. And then that the first full game without her, we went up to Tri-Township on a Saturday, boys-girls doubleheader, and just really struggled from the start. I think we scored 2 points in the first quarter, down 15-2, and just could not get going offensively. Just trying to find. I think at that point we're still trying to figure out what we were going to do offensively, and girls trying to figure out their roles now. Without her, and teams really started to focus on Tessa obviously. Then at that point too, and I think she had 9. It was just not a great night for us, offensively and defensively. And so then we were able to, come back, kind of refocus. I think we had Monday to kind of talk about a little bit and just said, hey, we got to do some different things. People are going to be filling different roles defensively. When you're going to have trouble score, you got to step up defensively. And Judson came in to our place that Tuesday, and I thought the girls really fought hard. It was we got down early, 14-6, so it was kind of looking the same way. But we fought hard in the second quarter. Defensively, we stepped it up a little bit, and only down 19-13 at halftime, and then 27-22 going into the fourth quarter. 5-point game, felt pretty good. But then we had that quarter where we scored 0. The fourth quarter, we didn't score at all, and it was 6. They outscored us 6-0. I mean, we only let them score 6, but when you don't score, obviously, and you're behind, it's going to be tough. And it's just, again, it was just trying to find somebody else to step up and knock some shots down. Tessa had 12. Katie Stevens knocked down some shots early, and then was able to find the hoop later in the game. And so it was I thought that was it was a good game for us though, because I thought the girls really came out and the effort was there. I knew we were going to struggle offensively, but the effort was what I wanted to see, and so that was positive. And then then we had a very good Morgan Township team come in. I think they had only lost 2 or 3 at that point when they came into our place on a Saturday, and that was, again, it was a team that we I thought we could compete with, but we were going to have to do some things, really shut them down defensively, and then offensively, obviously, we're going to have to convert some shots. And we competed with them the whole game. It was back and forth. Halftime 20-16, and that's about where we were playing offensively. We needed them to be defensively is 20 points, and we need that game to be in that lower range on our end, on the defensive end, and end up 38-36. Just couldn't get the shots to fall when we needed, or get a stop and stop and score when we needed to. Tessa had 18 for us. Morgan Carter came in and played I thought she played a solid game, hit a big three in that game as well, and sophomore there. Carly Spry was another freshman that was playing a little bit more minutes than she had been, and then Autumn Rife as well, freshman, had 6 for us. So it was I thought it was a good battle for us. Just unable to get it done again. It was one of those battles, just trying to keep the girls stay positive, because we had a conference game next right before Christmas there, and that was Faith Christian, and we knew they pressure a lot, and we knew it was going to be a little struggle probably with their pressure and without Abigail, and so we really focused on that press breaker and just telling the girls, the biggest thing against the press, the best thing a lot of times, if you don't have great ball handlers, you're going to have to break it with passing, and so we really concentrated on that, and came out and did not do that early on. First quarter, we had 12 turnovers, and I think we missed three or four, right around the rim, and go down 17-3 at the end of the first quarter, down 19-3 early in the second quarter. But then we kind of turned the corner a little bit and got some shutouts and started scoring a little bit, down 8 at the half. And I told the girls, just keep chipping away. Third quarter, we're down 2. So now we have a chance. We feel like, we were down at 16 at one point. Now we got it down to 2. Fourth quarter, we take a lead, probably I think 2.5, 3 minutes to go. And just then we had a couple turnovers, couple missed layups, and, we allowed them to score on one of those turnovers, got an easy layup, which, that's one thing we focused on is, we know we're going to have some turnovers, but we just can't let it lead directly to layups. We got to be able to set our defense up. And that was, they got a couple easy right off of, turnover score, and they ended up beating us by 4. Again, I thought we competed well for the most part. It was just that one quarter that did us in. Can't have a quarter 17-3 and expect to win very many games.
No.
And so we go into Christmas break. We know we had that Twin Lakes tournament coming up, and we knew that one was going to be a tough one. We're one of are the smallest school in it, and we're down a couple girls. We had obviously Abigail, but then we had another girl that had been starting for us. The Applegate girl had gotten a concussion, and so we're down a couple of our top 7 kids. And going to that Rochester game, and we didn't come out with very good energy at all in that one, and they just started out well. We didn't find shooters. They ended up hitting 10 threes on us. We just weren't moving our feet. We just kind of felt like we were stuck in mud or concrete at times with our feet, and finding people, talking, those types of things. And just was a struggle. We get beat pretty good there against the Rochester team, and knew we had to turn around the next day. I said, we had Mount Vernon then next, which obviously was not going to be an easy task, and got beat in that game. And that second day, I just told the girls the biggest thing I want to see is I want to see smiles on their faces. Compete, go out there, play defense, compete, get on loose balls, play as hard as you can. But I want to see smiles on your faces, because that's what it's all about. And every time they took the floor, I just got to tell them, turn around. I want to see them. And
Sure.
The KV game, I thought we came out and we competed with them. Back and forth. I think it was 12-6 at the end of the first quarter, and then halftime is 21-16. They did jump out to a little bit of lead in the third quarter, but we started chipping away at it and got it down, where we had a chance down at the end. It was 47-44. I thought for that game, that was probably the most, team-wise we had competed in that stretch of games.
They're 13-5 now.
Yeah. And so, excuse me, Tessa had 17, Autumn had 11. I think they both were in double-digit rebounds. Callie Hunt, I thought, played well. She knocked down some shots. But, Callie's one that's had to probably play the point more than anybody. We've kind of rotated it since Abigail went out. And, she struggled at it. It's not something – we're putting her in a tough position. And I've just tried to tell her, just keep her head up, just be positive and, she's doing the best she can. I mean, she's and I think she's done a very good job of it. And I thought she played some good, solid defense that game. Morgan Carter had 6 for us. And Katie Stevens, I think, knocked down a couple too. But I just, we were balanced. We had 6. We played 6 girls. All 6 of them scored. And the biggest thing, the hardest thing that I think is just trying to keep their heads up and stay positive in this stretch. We've gone 0-8 in that stretch of games, but when you go online and the Sager and computer rankings, I like to look at that a lot of times just to kind of give you. Usually by this point in the season, it's a pretty good gauge of some things, and they do a strength of schedule, those types of things. And our strength of schedule, I think the last time I looked at it was the second toughest in 1A, and we've played a tough schedule. Opponents' records is another one you look at, and I think we're in the top 25, and that's overall in all classes of our opponents' records. I mean, it's like 60 some over 500 of our opponents' records. So
and just look at the last 3 games. You played a 3A school and 2 4A schools, and you play Rensselaer 3A school tomorrow night. So
I mean, we're playing some very good competition, and we're not full strength right now. And
right.
that's why I keep telling the girls, right now it's about competing and learning. I mean, it's going to help us in the long run. I think we're getting some girls that are playing. They're getting very valuable minutes that I think will help us down the stretch. We've still got a chance in the conference. I said we're going to have some help now, obviously, since Faith got us there. So somebody's going to have to knock them off. But if we can run the table in the conference the rest of the way, I mean, we still have a shot at it. So, and that's what your season's for is conference and sectional. I said we still got a chance at both of those things. So you just got to look at all the positives that we've been doing, and but you can't. You can't bury your head because you're getting beat. If you start doing that and start pointing fingers and blaming each other, those types of things, I said, then our season's over. I said, so it's got to be, you got to keep your head up, stay positive, keep believing yourself, keep believing things we're telling you. And I really think they have for the most part. I said there's been a couple games there that we just come out a little flat, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. But I think in the stretch of games we've really competed for the most part in 75% of them, and it's just we obviously haven't got the wins to show that, but I think the competitiveness and things will help us down the stretch.
Well, tomorrow night, what you get with Rensselaer. They're going to press until you can handle it.
Right.
So
yeah,
tell us about tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're known for. I mean, they're going to change defenses a lot. They're going to press. They're going to pick you up after misses or makes a lot of times. I mean, so that's what we've tried to prepare the girls for. And, I think we've had some teams that have prepared us for that, so I'm hoping that'll, help us out going into this game. Yeah, it's going to come down to that, whether we can, limit those turnovers and especially, like I said earlier, limit it when they're scoring directly off those turnovers. You're going to turn the ball over, but if you can at least some of those where they're, at least you can set up your defense against it, and so they have to score against your defense and not just get, 2-on-1, 1-on-0, those types of scores. You give yourself a better chance. And, then defensively, obviously we're going to have to know where a couple of their girls are and just keep the ball out of the paint. I mean, that's the big thing that, our biggest key is just trying to keep the ball out of the paint and force teams to, beat us from the outside and, with contested shots and not give them those second chance opportunities when we do get them to miss. But, I think the biggest thing is obviously if we're going to be able to handle the pressure and see what we can do there.
And Saturday, invite all the Lady Viking fans and Lady Rebel fans to tune in. If you can't make it over to South Newton, we'll have both of those games on 3KG here. So, big game for you guys, right?
Yeah. So then we go back to the conference action there with South Newton, and try to get 3-1 in the conference. Like I said, I feel like we still have a shot at that conference. But we got to do our job. Obviously, I said we need help, but
one loss, you think you can tie for the conference?
We would
maybe?
be able to tie. So, but as I told the girls, we just got to be able to, we got to do our part.
Right.
And it starts obviously Saturday night. We got to go over there and win that one, and come out and compete hard, and then just keep going from there. Keep building from that. But I said, if not, I mean, finish with that one loss in the conference. That's the goal, and we can just we'll see what happens from there, and just hopefully prepare then for the sectional at that point.
Well, yeah, you only got 7 games left here.
Yeah, it's January's. I said January is kind of. It's I think we've got just over 2 weeks for the sectional draw to come out, so it's hard to believe that it's that time of the year again already. But that's kind of what I've been telling the girls too. Is we've had this tough stretch of games that January we just need to go on a run here and try to get some momentum building towards that time of the year. So we'll see what we can do.
Brian, thanks a lot for coming over, and we'll talk to you on Saturday night, okay?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Brian Heimlich from the North White Lady Vikings, back with more. The Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight on the Coach's Cage show, live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College, right off of 231 here on a, well, it's not like 60 degrees as it was yesterday, but it's not snowing and it's not freezing yet, so we'll take that for January. And we're going to catch up with Ryan Harrington from the Tri-County boys basketball team. Ryan, good to see you again. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
All right. Well, we've got some December 16th at North White until you played the Pioneer a few days ago, or yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Take it away and just briefly recap each of them. You don't have to go into great detail.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, so we've been really busy over break. They're at the 16th playing over at North White, our conference opener. So, great start to this conference season for us, getting a win. At halftime, we were down a point, and we had been in some foul trouble early on, and just talked to the boys about, hey, we're right here in it. We stayed in it through foul trouble. We just got to get through, and had a huge third quarter. We win the third quarter 13-4, and really kind of established a solid lead. There in the fourth, they were a little got it close. They hit some big shots on us because, again, we're only up about 9 at this point, and they hit a couple threes to get it, right there as a 3-point game, and just kind of back and forth. Some big plays for us down the stretch, though. Nate Corbin made an amazing pass to Connor Ross, who was cutting back door at one point. Connor Ross got an and-one bucket, and was able to score there. And hit his free throw. And then the other big play we had was at one point after they had scored, they had called a timeout, and our ball under their hoop, and we were able to set up kind of a home run touchdown pass there. Kobe Baylor threw it out there for Connor Ross, and we were able to get a layup there and to kind of seal the deal there for that first win of our season and also our first conference win.
Double
yeah,
key,
double
right?
dip in there. So that was definitely exciting there. And then right after that, that was Friday. We went into that next Monday. We played another conference opponent, North Newton.
Monday, huh?
Monday, yes. Because it was a conference opponent, North Newton, but it wasn't for our conference matchup because this was in the Kitchen Classic tournament, yes. So North Newton hosted that for us. really, really hard-fought game the whole way through, you know. Halftime, they're up 1. Going into the fourth, we're up 1. Just kind of back and forth all night long. I don't know if the largest lead even got over 5 points. I mean, it felt like just one of those back and forth contests. Late in the game, we had a great opportunity where we're down. I believe it may have even been a tie game. It was right there within 1 point or a tie game, and we get a steal and a fast break opportunity and miss the layup. And they get the rebound, and one of their guys didn't quite get all the way back on defense. They were just kind of able to outlet it to him just past half court, and we had no one back.
Yeah.
And they were able to score there, take the lead. Then
So
we
kind
got
of
into
4-point swing there.
huge 4-point swing in that situation. You know, something where, you know, we've talked to the guys a lot about. We got to be able to execute plays like that and make layups. You know, that's where a play like that, it's just got to be a given. And we'll talk more about these games coming up. We've definitely gotten a little better with that, with executing late in games.
Well, a lot of
these
tournament
close
games, aren't you?
Yeah, we
Gee.
did. So that's the rest of these games we're
must
talking
been
about is all tournaments.
And 2
so.
tournaments?
Yes, 2. So, like I was mentioning here with North Newton, this is the Kitchen Classic. So, they were able to beat us 47-44 there.
Now, you got interrupted by the weather, too, didn't you? Or
We
no?
did. Yeah, we did. So, that was Monday. We played that game. And then our second game in that tournament would have been Wednesday. So, we actually we played North Newton at North Newton. For our second game, we went down to Frankfurt, got to play in Case Arena, which was pretty cool. But we were playing Rossville, so different opponent.
Pretty good, right?
They are pretty good. They had already beat us earlier in the year, so kind of getting to measure how we've improved over the course of the last few months. And game was a little closer. Ends up being 71-54. You know, kind of one of those games where you could tell both teams had just played 2 nights before, and we're in, you know, finals week for our students in the classroom, and you could just kind of tell that both teams mentally were a little exhausted, really back and forth, not a lot of defense played necessarily in that game. There really wasn't much note. They kind of jumped out to a 9-point lead there in the first quarter, and we just couldn't really hang with them for most of the game. They've just got some really good athletes, able to jump out to that early lead on us, and again, a couple of my big guys getting in foul trouble just led to us falling behind early, and we weren't able to really fight back in that one. So that was Wednesday. And then we had the weather delay, like you mentioned. We were supposed to play the night after that on Thursday, but for school we got pushed out, and we got out of school 2 hours early, and they went ahead and canceled all after-school activities for us at Tri-County. So we didn't have anything. So that Kitchen Classic tournament got put on pause until last night when we played Pioneer. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Jump into our other tournament, the Hebron one. So the Hebron Holiday Tournament, we had we got to go up there, just a 4-team tournament. So that one was a little smaller. It was us, Hebron, Culver, so another Cavalier team, and then South Bend Career Academy. So South Bend and Culver played that first game on that was this past Wednesday.
Never heard of South Bend Career.
Yeah, they're a relatively new charter school.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how long they've been around. This is the 3rd year we've played them, actually, because they've been in the Hebron tournament.
Okay.
But I know when this year they had a new coach. The coach before, I think he was only the 2nd coach in school history, so they're a pretty new school up there. And we watched them play Culver. They were able to beat Culver, so we knew if we were able to beat Hebron, that's who we'd play the next night for the championship. The Hebron game, you know, they got a lot of height up there. You know, some pretty solid players. They're a pretty young team. They only had 1 senior on their team, so we kind of had the advantage on them as far as experience. And, again, a really tough, hard-fought game. Ends up with us coming out on top by 3 points, but that's really deceiving. You know, halftime we're down by 1. Going into the fourth, we're down 2. And that fourth quarter was a really exciting back-and-forth battle between both teams of either taking the lead or tying it up, taking the lead, tying it up. And we got down to the very end there, about 20 seconds left. They scored to get a 1-point lead. So we come down, call a timeout, drew up a play to try to get Eric Zarzi going to the left side of the floor with Nate Corbin posting up a man to see either get a shot for Eric or get a post feed to Nate for a shot. And Eric was able to drive left. Nate had a great seal, and Eric basically got a left-handed layup to take the lead with 3 seconds left.
So the play design worked
The
perfectly.
play design worked perfectly. They executed it perfectly.
That doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time. And I think one of the awesome things, too, in the locker room afterwards was how excited the guys were, even for how good of a job Nate Corbin did of sealing. You know, they weren't just excited that Eric Sarzi hit the shot. It was also, hey, Nate, you did your job too. We don't get that shot if you don't seal your man. So just really awesome seeing them come together as a team and recognize, you know, just those little things it takes to win a game like that. Because, again, really, really intense game. And that gave us the 1-point lead. We ended up winning by 3 because we were able to steal their inbounds pass. And our guys just kind of playing on instinct kind of threw it up and got a layup there. But, again, really, really hard-fought game, and especially after mentioning how the North Newton game had ended, it was really nice seeing us be able to come up on top in a situation like that. So going then into the next night, we get to play South Bend Career. You know, again, really athletic team. They had a lot of height. You know, not the most skilled basketball players necessarily, but as far as athleticism, they definitely had the advantage on us. And again, we kind of do a good job of getting down early. At halftime, we were down 7 on them. And again, they're just really quick, and they really challenged us to guard them the entire half court. So coming out of halftime, they just stood at half court with the ball in their hip. And until we got up on them to get that count, they weren't going to do anything. And so, they, like I said, they really challenged us to play really tough defense on them. And I thought our boys really stepped up to the occasion. You know, we were able to outscore them in that third quarter, 16-14, and you know, kind of get right back in that game, going into the fourth, only down 5, and then again in the fourth quarter we outscore them 9-5. And like I said, we only lose by 1 point there. It was just one of those games we just couldn't quite get over the hump. We kept either tying it or getting it to a 1-point game, and then they would take a tough contested mid-range jumper or, you know, a shot that as a defense we're like, okay, that's a win for us, and then they would get the offensive rebound. We just couldn't quite, you know, make that one little play to give ourselves an opportunity to take the lead until the very end. You know, we get 10 seconds left. We call a timeout, our ball under their hoop, so we got to go the whole length of the floor. And, you know, not a great necessarily play design to call in that situation. We just knew we had to get it in and attack, you know, and that's what we talked to them about. We knew that we were in the bonus, so we told the boys, you know, hey, be aggressive, don't just settle for a jump shot, because if we get fouled, no matter the situation, we're shooting free throws, and in a 1-point game, you want to be there. So we were able to inbound it to Nate, and he was able to dribble the whole length of the floor, and he was able to get to kind of the elbow, do a little spin move to the left, and end up on that right block, and a defender was just kind of there trying to take a charge on him. It was kind of a 50-50 call as far as, are you going to call block, are you going to call anything? I don't think it was a charge by any means, but they just, you know, didn't call anything. Nate misses the shot. We try to get the offensive rebound, and kind of ends in a scramble, and time expires before anyone's able to grab the ball. So kind of a tough situation, but at the same time, you know, if going into that play, if, you know, after that timeout, if you said, hey, you're going to get a shot at the rim, it's just going to be contested, you know, you take that every time. So tough outcome there. You know, I was hurt for the guys because, again, we battled really hard to get back in that game. There were some huge defensive stops in that third and fourth quarter where, like I said, South Bend was really, they were making us guard them the whole floor, and I thought our guys really stepped up to the occasion. We just couldn't make, you know, the 1 or 2 extra plays we needed to get over that hump. So, again, not a lot of break here going into yesterday around 11:30 a.m. actually. So we played an early game, a little different.
The morning
there.
game.
Yeah,
huh?
Nice little morning game for us there on break. We played Pioneer over at Delphi. So this was to finish out that Kitchen Classic. This was the 7th place game is what it ended up being. And Pioneer's a really solid team. They kind of like to play a 3-2 zone the whole time, so we knew we were going up against the zone, and you know, we've been mostly going against man-to-man teams, so it was just a little bit of a different challenge for us, and we did a really good job of getting Connor Ross opportunities at the rim, you know, and he was able to score 11 points for us, and you know, Kobe Baylor was able to hit some big threes and free throws for us down the stretch. He went 3 for 3 at the free throw line in the fourth quarter, and you know, we only win the game by 1 point. Those are the things that are huge, and so was really happy to see that come through. And again, in this game, another close one, about a minute and a half left, we were down 2 actually, and you know, we just knew we had to get defensive stops. You know, I didn't want to foul and make them just shoot free throws the whole way, so I was really challenging the guys in that timeout with a minute 30 left, like, we just got to find a way to get stops. We did a great job of trapping them, Connor Ross jumped the passing lane. He gets a steal, goes down the length of the floor, gets to that right block, goes up for a layup, gets fouled, goes to the free throw line. He makes 1 of 2. And so then, we're okay. Well, now we're down 1. And again, we're full court pressing them at this point, just trying to get a stop. They go down, and get the ball across the timeline, and their guy has it at the top of the key, and Nate Corbin goes up for a double team, and Connor Ross just does an excellent job of reading it. We get their guy trapped there at half court on a double team. He goes to kick it to Nate's guy, who Nate just left, and Connor Ross totally jumped the passing lane. This time he's going down the left side of the floor. He gets fouled at the left block, but this time he makes the layup. So now he's got an and 1. So now we're up by 1. He shoots the free throw, makes it. 2-point game. They inbound it and just drive right down the length of the floor and get a layup pretty much. So 10 seconds left, tie ball game. I'm thinking we're going OT. Just want to get a good look, and we do a great job of getting it up the sideline, hitting Kobe Baylor on the wing, and he takes a contested 3 with plenty of time left for us to potentially get an offensive rebound, and luckily the ball kind of just fell right into Connor Ross's hand. He just goes straight up with it, and the Pioneer boys were reaching really to get the rebound more than anything. They weren't even trying to foul him. It just so happened that he got the ball, went straight up, and was
right
able
place
to
at the right time.
Right place, right time, gets a foul call there, and there's only a half a second left in the game. So
he's shooting 2.
Shooting 2.
The tie score.
Tie game, opportunity to win it. Shoots that first one, and I know he was nervous. I was nervous for him. It kind of hit the top of the front of the rim, rolled over, hits the backboard, and fell in. So he hit that first one. And
he said, whew, huh?
Yeah, and then I'm just like, okay, everybody get back. There's only half a second left. The odds of them getting an offensive rebound or even inbounding it and making any type of shots pretty low. Connor shoots the second one, misses it. So then they get the rebound. They're calling timeout right away. But, there's only so much time you can grab a rebound and call timeout. So they end up giving them 0.3 left to inbound it, but again, it was off of a missed shot, so they didn't have baseline. So they had it underneath our hoop,
basket,
having to go the whole length, and they chucked it down there, and ball ended up getting to the far volleyball line, but our boys were able to just kind of tip it up in the air, and by then, obviously, the game was over. So kind of able to escape there with a victory. Again, it was a great win for us, but earlier in the third quarter, at one point, we had kind of built a 7-point lead. So it was one of those things where, in hindsight, I really wish we could have built on that and kind of expanded our lead there and not let them back in it. But can't knock the effort of the guys. And, again, finding a way to win the tough game when we weren't able to do that earlier in the year is always nice.
Well, last 3 in a row, and 4 of 5 has been a margin of 3 points or less. So do you think that's going to help you in the long run?
I think so. I think being competitive, that's kind of the next step in where we've been. You look at our early season schedule, we were kind of getting blown out by some of those teams we played early on, and they were quality teams. There's a reason they were beating us so handily, but now that we're kind of getting into the meat of our schedule and schools more our size, I'm really proud of the boys being more competitive. I think the other thing that really has stood out for the most part is the defensive effort. We're holding teams under 50 points now mostly. You take that Rossville score out of there, it's starting to look a little better defensively. And so now we just got to keep cleaning it up offensively and scoring a little more points. That's the goal, is to keep teams in the 40s and for us to be scoring in the 50s. So we've gotten the defensive average down. Now we just got to kind of keep it where it's at, or continue to improve upon it. I won't complain if we do that, but just cleaning up a little bit offensively. We still just have some silly turnovers from time to time, or we take a shot that maybe we think it's a good shot, but realistically we could have worked the ball a little longer, made the defense have to guard us, and found a better one.
Well, you're halfway through your season now, aren't you? 11 games in, 11 games to go.
Yeah,
so are you think you where you should be right now, or behind schedule, ahead of schedule? Where are you at halfway through the season now?
I think there's a few of those games I think I wish we would have had back, but as far as where we are as a team right now and how we are executing things, I really like where we're at as a team. We're getting guys healthy at the right time. Guys are kind of falling into their role, and I didn't necessarily mention individual performances on all of those, but against South Bend Career, for example, in that game, Grayson Schneider, sophomore off the bench, scores 13 points for us. So have some different guys stepping up that haven't really done that at the varsity level yet, and that's really exciting to see as we head into the second half of our schedule. And, again, majority of these games coming up are going to be conference opponents. So
up next is a conference game at DeMott Christian, right?
Yeah, Friday.
On Friday?
Friday, yeah.
What do you know about DeMott Christian?
They've got a solid big guy on the inside, the Miller kid, who it seems like he's been there forever, but I'm sure teams probably say the same thing about Nate Corbin for us. So he's a really solid big guy for them. He very similar to Nate in that he has really good post moves, but also he is the type of player that can go behind the arc and knock down some shots. And then they got some pretty solid guards. They got a freshman guard who can hit some threes for him. So just kind of making sure we contain them, and again, just also making sure that we focus on what we need to do to continue to improve on ourselves. Because at the end of the day, that's what I've talked to our guys about with these last couple games. Losing that South Bend game. The issue isn't anything South Bend's doing. It's just we've got to be better on what we're doing, and if we continue to improve on those things, we're going to be a really tough team once we get to the end of February and into March.
Double weekend for you guys this weekend too,
yes,
right?
Yeah. So then Saturday we finally get another home game. I mean, we haven't been at home for a while either, and we get to host Attica. So Attica's been struggling a little bit, so we'll see.
You haven't been home since December the 10th.
No, yeah, we've been on the road. We've been road warriors, and that's the thing. You talk about all those close games. I mean, they've all been on the road.
Yeah.
So that's again encouraging because that's where we're going to have to win when it comes sectional time. So.
And next week?
Next weekend we've got Tri-Township as well as West Central. So again, another conference opponent for us with West Central. And then Tri-Township, again, another school about our size that's formerly lacrosse. So we'll get to go up there and play in that small gym, which is always a fun experience as well.
And want to alert Cavalier fans that game against West Central will be able to watch right here on 3KG, thekage.com. Next Friday we'll be out there for that Midwest Conference Showdown. So, Ryan, thanks for coming over. Thanks for catching us all up. And
thank you.
We'll see you next week, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, Ryan Harrington from the Tri-County boys team, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KGthekage.com right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask, give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Welcome back to Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer on the south side. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Bill Kay under the weather this evening. Hopefully Bill will be back for Saturday's game over at South Newton. We'll be doing a girls-boys doubleheader. Girls game starts at 5 Central Time, and the boys to follow. We'll be on the air at 4:45 with a pregame show as North White visits South Newton. Speaking of South Newton, Rebel coach Ricky Monemeyer has joined us. Ricky, good to see you again. How you doing?
Pretty good. About you?
Doing okay. Well, the Rebels had that tragedy, so you guys took a lot of time off, and you've just played 2 games since then, right?
Yep. So. We ended up rescheduling the Frontier game for the week after Christmas, right? Yeah, 27th. We played them on a Tuesday, and then last night we played over at Beecher in Illinois.
All right, well, tell us about the game.
We played against Frontier, another conference game for us. We only had, I'm trying to think, probably a few practices the week before that with everybody there kind of things. Like we were still trying to find.
Like starting all over again.
It was, yeah. And then we had a starter that was out of town, so he didn't play. And then I think 2 other kids that were not there that I planned on dressing one, and the other was a starter on JV. So we were shorthanded.
Have you had your entire squad yet this year?
Not. I was talking about that with the coaches yesterday. Since the season started in November, officially, after the Jamboree, so that week or 2 before the Jamboree, I think since then we have not had a full squad, whether it's sickness, whether it's miss a practice because they didn't wake up to their alarm, whether it's you're out of town, whether it's whatever. I mean, the tragedy that happened at South Newton, we just have not had a full group together on the floor for an extended time, whether it's a week or 2 weeks.
Are we getting close to everybody being back again, or
everybody's there today? So I mean, we got
it's a daily thing, huh?
Yeah, we got to start somewhere.
All right.
But played at home against Frontier. Shorthanded as we were, it was pretty competitive for the most part. We were down 21-10 at half. We've struggled to score the ball the last couple weeks, and a lot of that just comes down to we don't have the practice time together in practice to know where guys are at, get a feeling for the offense, that kind of stuff. So defensively, I thought we played pretty well, but offensively just couldn't get anything going. And then the third quarter, they ended up scoring 22 in that quarter to our 13. And then we outscored them in the fourth, 18-16. So second half, our offense was better, but defense seemed to drop off a little more. We didn't turn the ball over a whole lot. It was just, Frontier switched up defenses pretty often, whether they pressed, played man-to-man, they'd sit in the zone. They were always keeping us on our toes, trying to switch things up. And, our guys adjusted well for the most part, but we just couldn't take a lead at any point. Leading us in scoring in that game was Luke Hoskins with 14, and then Lucas Boguski had 7. He's a kid that usually splits time with us, JV varsity, but he ended up playing all 4 quarters for us on varsity that night and played pretty well with Cruz being out. So, yeah, that was Frontier. And then last night we went over to Beecher. We played in...
Where is Beecher, Illinois?
It is... I'm trying to think logistically where it's at. It is pretty much right across the line from like Cedar Lake area in Illinois. So it's up north.
Okay.
But they're a really good team going into the game. They're 14-1. We lost last night, and they ended up beating us pretty good. They're 15-1 now. Really good team. A lot of juniors in that group. They have a couple seniors, but for the most part, it's their junior group that gets them going. We lost 63-21, and leading us in scoring that game last night again was Luke Hoskins with 6, and then Hayden Basewick had 5. And then Chase Stillbauer went down with an injury last night, so I don't know how long he'll be out, but he'll be out for at least this weekend, I think. So
that's. I mean, what you guys eventually are going to get a whole team together.
Eventually,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, he was at practice. He just couldn't really practice today. He was icing and working with Dr. Moss. So
sure.
Yeah, we've looking at this past 7 games. You look at a couple of those teams that are pretty decent. Seeger, they're above 500. I think they're like 7-3. Beecher last night, 15-1 now. Watsika is pretty competitive. And then, a couple of games in there that we probably could have won had things gone a little differently. You look at Riverton Park, we lost by 6, and then West Central lost by 10. Those are 2 games that I keep thinking about over and over, like, man, we should have had those games.
Sure,
or,
sure.
You know, we could have had those games kind of thing. But talking to the guys today, we just got to start, you know, improving now to play our best basketball by sectional time. So I've been preaching over and over. I'm like, the hardest working kids that we have are the ones that are going to come out and play for us. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. You know, we're playing what I think is our best guys, what our coaching staff is our best guys, and it's not panning out for us. So I think intensity levels have picked up in practice, especially today. I think the guys are finally, like, starting to get it a little bit, and I think with us all being at practice and get back into routine, I think it's going to help us a little bit.
Double weekend for you guys this weekend, huh? Tell us about those games.
Yeah, we're over at River Forest on Friday, and then we host North White on Saturday. River Forest, we beat last year in the varsity group, and I think we lost a close one in the JV group, so I expect it to be a competitive game. And then North White, conference game again at home. You know, they lost a lot from last year, but they did win one over breaks, so their spirits are good going into this game. So
Matt says it's going to be a close game.
I hope
they
so.
predicted.
I hope so. We just gotta find a way to start being in competitive games and then give us a chance to win. We can't keep losing by 10+ points every game. I mean,
right.
It's demoralizing. It puts you in a bad mood. It puts coaches in a bad mood. So as long as we can be competitive in that game, I'll feel pretty happy about that.
And next week, what do you have?
Week after, we picked up the Rensselaer game. I haven't told you that yet.
Okay.
Next Tuesday, we rescheduled them for 6 o'clock.
I heard that's just going to be a boys varsity
Just boys.
only, right?
I don't think the girls are playing them at all. So 6 o'clock, just varsity boys. And then Friday, Saturday, we've got 2 Illinois schools. We've got Milford and then Clifton Central.
So you got 5 games over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I told the guys last night, I'm like, starting tonight, you guys got 6 games in like 12 days, 11 days. So I think they're excited, though, to not as much practice time and be able to get on the floor and play. Hopefully we start playing a little better at home, too. You know, we've been on the road for majority of our first half of the season. It'll be nice to get the home crowd behind you a little bit and not have to go on such long bus drives different places.
We'll tell the Rebel fans that you can watch the game on 3KG, thekage.com on Saturday. We'll be over there, so we'll talk to you then, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right. Ricky Monemeyer from the South Newton Rebels boys basketball team back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thekage.com right after this.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, back on the Coach's Cage program on 3KGthecage.com. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you here from Arnie's in Rensselaer, resuming the, can't believe it's 2023, Bill Shepard. Where did 2022 go?
Flew by, didn't it?
Jeez. It's getting older, I don't like that.
We're definitely not getting younger. There's no doubt about that.
That's for sure. All right. Well, we haven't seen you since the 14th, so we have 4 games to talk about, right?
Yep. Yeah, we do.
So take it away.
First of all, let's talk about our conference opener. We hosted Andran on December 16th. The opener of the Northwest Crossroads Conference for us, and we wound up taking, winning that game 68-50. That was a really good ball game for us. I think we kind of springboarded off of our effort against Valparaiso a little bit, and came into that game and got out to a 23-14 at the end of the first quarter. 23-14 lead, that is, in the first quarter, and we were up 38-27 at halftime. And just kind of, Andrea made a little bit of a run there towards the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, but we were able to extend it and get an 18-point lead. It was a good. It's always good to open your conference 1-0.
And to beat Andran, that doesn't happen every year,
Yeah, that's been 2 years in a row for us to beat Andran, so that's really good. And obviously we can talk about this in a little bit, but it sets up a pretty important game at Munster coming up on Friday night.
You were telling me how important that to get a win against Andran was.
Yeah, I mean it's very important to get a win because obviously I think that kind of sets up that game coming up against Munster is kind of a conference showdown type of game where it's like, we still have Lowell and Hobart and Highland to go, but obviously when you're looking at conference, once you get by Andran, Munster's a team you got to beat, and pretty much whoever wins that game is going to definitely have a driver's seat in the league. But in the Andran game, Cam Webster led us to 28 points. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cam Webster led us to 28 points, and Jeremiah Jones had 13 points, and Hayden Days had 17 points for us. That would mean 68 points for us. That's kind of like 1,000. So that was a pretty good game for us.
Then it went south the next game, didn't it?
Yeah, we went up the Highland tournament. We opened up the Highland tournament on December 28th with Benton Central, and Benton Central is a really good team, and we were obviously focused on their 6'5" sophomore Hunter Sisson, number 33, who can really shoot the basketball, and we held him to 7 points. If you told me that before the game, I would feel really good about things.
Sure.
And it would just, one of the things that we're really, really consistent at, Bob, is being inconsistent. It's just Andran good, Benton Central bad, Whiting good, Morgan Township bad. It just,
you don't want to do that.
No, and I don't care what you look at, what stat category you look at, what intangible you look at. We are inconsistent in all of them.
Every hour.
Shooting one night good, one night bad. Rebounding one night good, one night bad.
Does that frustrate you a lot?
Oh yeah, and energy one night good, one night bad. It just everything is just one night good, one night bad. And to me it's a focus issue, and it's an attention issue, and we're just.
And you could probably tell early, can't you, if it's going to be that one of those nights?
Yeah, and it's just one of those where, it's very difficult to, it's very difficult to find the right phrase to get a team out of that. That's kind of up to them to get them out of that. So, but the Benton Central game, it was a close game the whole way through, as you figured it would be. They were up 14-12 at the end of the first. They were up 24-19 at halftime. They were up 37-33. It was a 4 or 5 point game most of the way. I remember it was 44-42 with about a minute left, and we missed a shot to tie. And then they hit a couple of 4 free throws down the stretch, so we got 48-42 as a final score. But once again, we hold the team under 50, and we don't win a game. And that's.
And then you say the game before you had 38 points at halftime, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things, and and Andran's no slouch,
right?
It's just one of those things where, we come out and some games we're into it, and some games we're just not really into being there. And the Benton Central game was one of them, and Cam Webster led us with 14, and then we had Colton Pribble with 11, and Hayden Days with 11 as well. But that was about it. So it was really just unfortunate to hold the team under 50 and not come away with a win.
Sure, you got to expect a win when you do that.
Exactly. So we come back later that night and we play Whiting at Highland, and
look like a different team.
One game good, one game bad. And it just
and it's that in that order, isn't it? It's never 2 or 3 games good, one bad, or.
No,
it's never 3 games bad, 1 good.
It always seems like it's up and down all the time, and like Whiting we win 75-29, and the first half we were kind of, we were still kind of feeling sorry for ourselves about the morning game, because at halftime we were at 29-23.
Oh, so this was the same day even?
Same day, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we came back in the evening and played that night, and we were up 29-23 at halftime, and then in the second half we outscored them by 40, so it's just Guys, one of those.
Can't explain it, can you?
No, I mean, I wish I could, because then we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
But Cam Webster led us again with 23. We had Eli Deerdorf came off the bench and had 10 points for us. His first game in double figures, so that was a good game for Eli. Colton Pribble had 12 for us that game. I do have to say, one of our consistents, in a world of inconsistency for us, one of our consistents has been Colton Pribble. The senior point guard we have, he has been rock solid. He's been steady all the way through. And, I'm always saying Cam leads us in points and stuff. I mean, Cam will be the first to tell you he's been pretty consistent. But Colton Pribble has been very consistent all the way through.
And you expect that out of a senior point guard, right?
No doubt about it. So, I mean, when I do talk about the inconsistency of the team, I want to make sure that I point out to exclude him, because he's been doing a great job for us all season long. So, anyways, we beat Wadding 75-29. So then that's good, right?
Right.
So then 2 days later,
you know what's going to happen.
You know what's coming. You
yeah.
know, and it's just. So we played Morgan for the second time this year, and we played him over at Morgan Township, I believe, on December 8th, and lost 58-48.
Yep.
And this time here, we come out and we actually are up 5 at halftime, 26-21, and we're up 10 in the early in the third quarter, like 33-23. And then then the bad starts happening, and it's just one of those deals where we're up 10, so it's time to start throwing the ball in the third row. It's time to start taking quick shots that are contested. And and credit Morgan too, because they went after a mismatch that they had in their favor. It took them a while to figure it out, but starting about late in the third quarter, they started attacking the mismatch that they could have attacked all game if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we don't figure out what they're trying to do until I don't want to say it's too late, but until we're tied now. Now, this is what they're trying to do. Well, you could have found that out 5 possessions ago. And we were just slow to adjust on that. I want to see, but 50-48 is what we lost by. We had another shot to tie at the end of the game. Missed a shot to tie and missed a putback at the horn. That could have tied the game as well. So we had our opportunity there. But it's just one of those games where we definitely let slip through our hands there. Literally and figuratively. So Cam led us with 16 again, and Hayden Days had 14 that game for us. But there's another game where you only allow 50 points, come away with a win. That's very frustrating when you're putting so much pressure on your defense. You got to hold the team under 40 or what?
The last 2 losses you held them to 48 and 50.
Yeah, just very very frustrating that we're not able to put the ball in the basket, and that's as a coach, you got to start looking for some combinations that can score a little bit better for you,
right,
throughout stretches of a game, and that's what we're doing now. Is we're starting to try to find some combinations that maybe can put the ball in the basket a little bit better for us. And
it looks like you're getting 2 consistent scorers, right?
Yeah.
Am I right or no?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But it's like, I'll be really honest, and I told the kids this too. Against Benton Central, I thought a lot of times we were playing 2-on-5 when we were on the offensive end. We had a couple kids that weren't scoring, and then we had another kid that looked like he didn't want to shoot or didn't want to score. So,
and that's easy to play defense when you get guys like that, right?
Well, and we got big guys, of course, as you know.
Right.
But when you got guys that won't shoot the outside shot, or won't hit the outside shot, or at least won't show a willingness to do it, it's tough to get the ball to the bigs because people are just clogging the paint.
Right.
And I think that's been one of our biggest issues is we're just not getting good enough consistency from our perimeter players to open things up for our size.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things we've been addressing here in the week that we've had off, and trying some different combinations to try to get that middle open up a little bit for us, for not just the bigs but our guards to attack a little bit more too, because we just don't shoot free throws very well. Let's put it this way: we shoot free throws well, but we shoot like 4 a game. In the tournament we shot like, I think against Morgan we shot 6. Against Whiting we shot 4, and against Benton Central we shot 2.
And you'd like to shoot 15 to 20 a game, probably.
Well, at least give me 10, but it's going to take me 3 games to get 10. It's just, and that just shows me once again we're not attacking at all. We're not aggressive at all.
Just settling.
Yeah, but once if you're not going to show a willingness to shoot the outside shot or make the outside shot, defense are going to force you to settle eventually, and that's what we're doing. And we're not really making the shots we got to make. So, It's obviously frustrating to see how that's turning out, but we've only played 9 games, so I mean we still got plenty of time on our schedule. You have to figure it out. We're gonna try to find some combinations to put some points on the board, and you just hope that doesn't hurt your defense on the other end.
See, the last part of your season, you got a lot of at places there, so you're on the road a lot.
Yeah, we like to travel, evidently,
But if you're a win-loss, you're coming off a loss, so.
Well, which should bode well for Munster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be good if we had a good showing up at Munster. Obviously, Munster's really good. Munster 7-2, maybe 8-2 right now. 8-2 or 9-2. They played in the 4-way Homestead tournament this weekend and did outstanding. They were 3-1 over there, so they're coming in and flying pretty high. Munster's always a challenge. If you want to win that conference, you got to go through Munster. And last year we lost to them by 1. We're going to go up there feeling good about things, and we're going to do our best to execute against them this year. We got all the talent in the world to hang with them and compete and beat them. It's just a matter of whether we're going to execute for 4 quarters and whether we're going to be consistent for 4 quarters. And and Bob, I tell you, one of these days I think we will be. Now, if that's Friday, great. If that's once we can figure out that consistency piece of it for a game, then we can start looking towards building. But until you get a little more, until you get that consistency piece, it's tough to build because you always feel like you're fighting the next wave coming in.
Absolutely. You got a double weekend this weekend, huh?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we were at Munster on Friday night, and then we got Michigan City coming home Saturday afternoon. So we're looking forward to obviously Munster is a premier conference opponent, and Michigan City is a Duneland Conference school, and they're going to present totally different challenges. Munster plays this way, and they're very, I don't want to say methodical, but just very fundamental, and they're not going to try to press and run you all over the place. But Michigan City on the other hand, they're very athletic, and they're going to be pressing and running all over the place and doing things. So I mean, it's a good duality of teams that we're playing this weekend, and we're looking forward to the challenge. And this is a great big weekend for us. I mean, when you're talking 4A team, I mean, this is kind of like a sectional Friday Saturday type weekend with the 2 teams you're playing. And we're coming off of practice at Mackey Arena this morning, so I think the kids are pretty.
How did that go? That must have been cool, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good. The kids were pretty excited about going there this morning, and we had a good workout down at Mackey Arena this morning. And Purdue's women's coach, Katie Geralds, watched us for like the first 10 minutes, and
I love Katie Geralds.
I'm afraid to hear what she was probably thinking when she was up there, but yeah, she was there watching us. They must have practiced in the other gym for as we were getting ready to go, because she was up there watching our first 10 to 15 minutes of practice, and then the men came in right after us. So that was kind of neat to see them walk in and get ready to go.
Couldn't slip in Zach Eady on your team for this weekend, could you?
Well, I tried, but we could probably slip into one or two of those guys. But man, he's his size, he's tough to slip in anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'd be tough to disguise him coming in.
I tell you, I got to show you this. My daughter works in Lafayette, and that was this morning.
There you go. Yeah.
My daughter Brooke got to meet Zach Eady today. Said she worked right next to where he's getting a haircut, so she asked for a picture, and she goes, "Golly, I'm small."
He is a big guy. We were actually, a quick story, me and my JV coach, Brett Walther, about 3 years ago, because you couldn't do anything the last 2 years because of COVID, basically. So like about 3 years ago, we went to watch a practice over fall break of Purdue's, and it was actually his visit day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're sitting in, me and Brett are sitting in the gym watching practice, and all of a sudden we look over at the door, and we're like,
you got to look up.
We're like, whoa, who's that guy? We're like, he's obviously on a visit, and then Painter comes over and tells us who he is, and he was from Canada, and his mom was with him at that time too, and she's like 6'6", 6'7".
Really?
She's
man,
monster. So it was like, whoa, but yeah, he's not small.
7'4".
Yeah, that.
Think of what you could do with a guy 7'4".
Oh yeah, well, and he's not a weak 7'4".
Oh no.
I mean, he's a strong
290.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. So, yeah, he's built for the conference he's in. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. So. All right, well, got a lot of games to go.
Yeah.
What do you hope to accomplish in the last 13 or 14 games here?
Well, obviously, you start with Friday night with Munster, man. You'd really like to get a leg up in the conference. I mean, we got a leg up, but you really like to consider yourself the front runner,
right?
And that's gonna that's gonna either happen or not happen on Friday. And then after that, if we are the front runner, then you got to keep it. And if you're not the front runner, then second place is the worst that you can finish. That's kind of the thing there. Other than that, it's just find a group of guys that I can put out there on the floor that will consistently get better for me between now and March. And if I do that, we're gonna be okay.
So you're still searching for that right combo.
I mean, look at the results.
Yeah.
And that's. And I don't mean to be mean about that, but
I mean, saying the truth.
You are what your record says you are.
Yeah.
And we're just too inconsistent right now. And when you're always looking to build towards March, I mean, when I see the up and the down and the up and the down and the up and the down, I mean, I just don't see the building.
Right.
So yeah, we're looking for a combination that will be a little bit more consistent, that we can. And which means our rotations would be different, but that's okay. I mean, we're just looking for the combinations and rotations that we can build towards and be, around Valentine's Day, be a team that's really doing pretty well.
I mean, you just wish for some of those guys to say, "I want to score the ball," I
mean, I think they all want to score it. It's just
having trouble doing it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times I think they overthink things too. And by the time they're ready to do what they wanted to do, it's too late. I mean, varsity basketball is not a slow game.
It's hard.
It's
hard.
Yeah, I should have done this. Well, yeah, it's too late to do that now. I mean, it's just I think they're fighting a lot of that stuff too, and but I mean. You've seen us. We got a lot of good pieces. It's just, we just got to find the way the puzzle fits together to get us going in the right direction.
All right, Billy, thanks for coming down. I appreciate it, and go get them this weekend, and we'll see you next weekend, okay?
Sounds good, Bob. Thank you much.
Bill Shepard from the Kankakee Valley boys basketball team, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
And welcome back to the Coach's Cage show here on 3kgthecage.com. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight. Going to talk a little North Newton Lady Spartan basketball with Coach Chris York. Chris, good to see you again. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long break from the show, but
yes,
I'm glad to be back.
Since December 14th we haven't talked, so we've got a few games to talk about, so I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of really low lows in this time, and we had some almost pretty high highs. We'll start with DeMont Christian. Last game we talked about, I think, might have been Boone Grove.
It was, yes.
It was, where
because we were here the 14th, and you played DeMont Christian on the 15th.
A winless team came in and got us, and since then they've won 3 out of 4. So I kind of thought it was an aberration that they were where they were. But we went into DeMont Christian, and it just went bad from the tip. It was one of those deals where, 3 seconds hadn't even clicked off the scoreboard, and they were down. We were down 2-0 because they got the tip, got a layup.
They've got a pretty good team.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. They're pretty fast, and all their girls, they're the same. They're like
Bo's
5'8",
girl's
5'9".
really good.
Yes.
I remember I saw her play, and she is good.
They're
okay.
they're like 5'8", 5'9". They're all pretty quick, and they were getting a bunch of steals on us, and we didn't really have a prayer. We were down 22-2 after the first quarter, down 31-4 at the half. It was one of those deals where we couldn't really get anything going. We lost 48-11. Just we didn't have a chance the whole way in. Just everything went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We had a whole bunch of turnovers. We had 28, but it was one of those deals where we had a running clock real early in the second half. So 28 turnovers in a much shortened game. It didn't look good. Not only did we have a bunch of turnovers, but we shot 16%. We only went to the free throw line 4 times because when we did have the ball, we just kind of chucked the ball. And
right.
We had 12 rebounds for the whole game.
I've never heard of that before.
I looked at this, and it was one of the things that I highlighted here, and so that game didn't go very well at all. So that was the first of what we're really in this stretch. We're on a 7-game losing streak. We're 3-14. That stuff's not looking real good.
Did I see that it says 3 overtimes for the next game?
Yes, we're going to talk about that one right now.
Holy cow.
Covington came in on a Saturday morning, and we played, and we were awful in the first quarter. I mean, we were 1 for 13, right? We're losing 12-3 after the first quarter, and we won the next 3 quarters. We chipped away, down. We were down 23-15 at halftime. We chipped away a little bit, and in the fourth quarter at the end, we finally tied it. I forgot what we tied it at, but we tied it, and then we went to overtime.
Who had it in the regulation? Did anybody have a chance to win it?
I'm trying to remember how the end of. I think we kind of did, and we didn't. And in one of the overtimes, which I'll talk about in a second, we really had a chance and just kind of blew it. But we came all the way back. We tied it. Went into the first overtime. Each of the overtimes, we allowed a quick basket, so we were down immediately in those 4 minutes each time. And I think it was in the first overtime, toward the end, with about a minute to go, the other team, there was a scrum, and they got a technical foul. So one of our players goes to the free throw line. She gets a free throw. She doesn't hit it for the 1-and-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then, McKenna splits 2 for the technical, and then we get the ball. So we're up by 1. And I don't remember if we had a turnover on that possession, or if we had, or if we took a real quick shot. We have a 1-point lead with about a minute left. Rather than bringing it out, we went straight at the basket and tried to score. But we haven't been in that position very much, where we're in a chance to win the game. So we had a couple chances to win. When it was all said and done in the third overtime, all my kids were just tired. So I
bet they must have been exhausted.
I figured I would try something different, put some fresh kids in, some JV kids, just to try, offense, defense, and try to get a 5-second call, get a steal, whatever. That didn't work out. They got a breakaway. And then we made a 3-pointer. Those kids, they made a 3-pointer, and it brought us to within 2. And they ran down the floor. As soon as we made the 3-pointer, they run down the floor instead of fouling.
Still behind.
Instead of trying to, yes. So that's just inexperience, and I know that it sounds like some kind of big experiment, but none of the girls that I had on the floor at the time, I felt, we're gonna have the chance to get a steal or all that kind of stuff to try to turn the tide. So anyway, we didn't win that game, 3 overtimes. But it was fun. I've never been involved in one of those kinds of games before.
That's an extra quarter and a half, isn't it?
That's right. And there were a lot of things that went well in that game, but we ultimately didn't win. And then we start the tournament, the Indiana Kitchen tournament. That game was on Monday the 19th, and we played Tri-County, and I think we played okay for a while against Tri-County. And the score doesn't indicate it. We lost 63-28, but we were right with them in the first half of the first quarter. We were only down 17-10 because they ran away a little bit in this first quarter. They only outscored us 12-8, and we were down 29-18 at halftime. And then everything just fell apart. We'll see them tomorrow night, and we worked on some of the things that really killed us. In that game, we shot 48%.
That's good.
That's real good. We had 45 turnovers. That's no good, right? So if you don't have the ball, you can't score.
Right.
So that part of the game was pretty good. So we worked on the turnover stuff a little bit, and I brought my goggles. And Bill's not here.
Bill, no. Darn it. Next week.
I was going to show him those things, but
bring it next
anyway,
week.
Every practice is all these fundamental type of things, and hopefully at some point everything just kind of clicks. But in that Tri-County game, got outscored 22-4 in the third quarter. That was all she wrote, right? In that game, I haven't really done too many stats. There weren't really any to speak of in the DeMott Christian game. The Covington game, McKenna had 17, and Lexi Cunningham had 8. Madeline Ehrenholz had 8 in that Covington game. We had a lot of rebounds. Lexi had 7. Cheyenne Cahill had 9. McKenna had 11, and so did Madeline Ehrenholz. So we had some really good stats in that game. And in the Tri-County game, McKenna only had 6 shots, and we're going to see that again here in another game. McKenna was 3 out of 6, but June Busboom had 5, and Cheyenne Cahill had 6, and McKenna had 7. Points were hard to come by. Madeline Ehrenholz had 11 rebounds. The one thing about McKenna in that game against Tri-County was that she had 4 assists, 4 blocks, so those were decent stats, but we didn't do a good job of getting out on shooters. They had 2 girls that scored 44 of their points. They had 7 3-pointers between them, so hopefully tomorrow we do a better job of that, handling their shooting, and then bringing down our turnovers against their 1-3-1 half court.
Yeah.
Then we got to play in the Frankfurt gym, Case Arena.
That's pretty
where they
cool,
played
I bet.
Blue Chips,
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty neat. Because of course I grew up, watching that movie and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
we played North Montgomery. They were 2-12, and it's going to be the first of 2 instances where we're playing a team that we think we've got a shot. And in this game, we lost 45-21. We just couldn't get anything going. McKenna only shot 3 shots. She scored 1 point.
Are teams really focusing on her?
Yeah,
now?
they were. They were really focusing on her. They kind of had everything packed in, and we'd get it into her, and she just wasn't getting any shots off. And nobody else was really putting up too many. 1 for 7, 1 for 6. We went to the free throw line 16 times and made 10. But this was a game where we only had 22 turnovers, but that's because the game was slowed way down, right? And we shot 17% as a team. We were 5 out of 29. So you don't have the turnovers, but then you don't make shots. In that game, Cheyenne Cahill and June Busboom had 5. Madeline Ehrenholz had 6. We had 17 rebounds in that, but not a lot of shots. So, you go in thinking that you've got a shot at it, and it just that 20-point game felt like 50, just because nothing went right.
Right.
Because we lost that game, we had an 8:00 a.m. game the next day.
8 in the morning?
So that's at Frankfurt, right? Well, they were supposed to play games on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
But because of the storm coming,
right,
they tried to get everything done on Thursday. So we left at 5:45, and we played an 8:00 in the morning game against a 1-11 Frankfurt team.
Man.
And
you played against the home team then.
Yeah, the Hot Dogs. I've never been in that gym, and again, this was 3 teams that I've never played before, so it's all a great experience for me. But you go in thinking that we've got a shot, and we were winning 6-5 at the end of the first quarter, and in that game we were down 14-10. This is like just a slog in the mud, the entire thing. We finished the game with 45 turnovers. A final score, we lose 29-22, but we were down 14-10. We tied it early. First, we get 2 stops. We score 2 baskets. We're tied at, 14. And then they go up 18-14. And again, these baskets feel like it just feels like it's insurmountable. We had chances to win. I could pinpoint in this low-scoring game at least 9 points they shouldn't have scored for one reason or another. But bottom line is, in that game, we not only had 45 turnovers, but we shot 23%. We were 9 for 40. It's just one thing after another, really. In that game, McKenna had 16, but not on a real good shooting day. She was 6 for 21. And besides that, Cheyenne Cahill had 4 essentially. I mean, that's pretty much all we had. Madeline Aaron-Holtz had 2. Madeline had 12 rebounds. McKenna had 11 rebounds. Lexi Cunningham had 6 steals. But that was a game that, just like the Covington game, should have been a good possibility of a win, and it didn't happen. That was where kind of the real lows came in, thinking that we should have won that game. But then I didn't see him again until Friday, the following Friday. Thursday to Friday, we gave them off. I went to Wisconsin Dells, didn't do any basketball stuff. The girls just did their own thing, and we came back Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, today, and then we play Tri-County tomorrow, and we've got West Central at home.
The back-to-back conference games
back-to-back,
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, and then 3 together because we've got Frontier on Tuesday coming in.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, record-wise, Tri-County is kind of close to 500, I want to say. I don't know what the record is. The last I checked, they were 5-7. And they didn't play one of the games in the tournament because they were in school still when they were trying to condense the games. Oh.
There you go.
Is it back? Okay. But, record-wise, we look at West Central. They're struggling a little bit. We look at Frontier. They're struggling a little bit, but so are we. So I've learned already in this that I can't really glean much information out of records.
Right.
Just, you think you go in and then they just kind of put a stomping on you like North Montgomery did. So I'm just hoping that, like I said, at some point, these things just kind of click. We've worked on some of our offensive stuff. We've worked on some of our intensity on defense, really getting out on shooters. I told them I almost rather going out too hard and having them drive for a layup rather than just watching people shoot threes all the time.
Right.
Because when teams play me, they seem to just hit all the shots. Coach, is his name Sipkema?
Yes.
From North White, he says that anytime team plays him, they make their shots. Same thing with me. So, we're working on some stuff, and hopefully in this month with our last 6 regular season games, we see improvement, and if we get the right draw in the sectional, maybe something can happen.
You got 6 games, only 6 games left, huh?
Yeah, I believe so.
2, 4, yeah. So what do you want to accomplish in the month of January here?
I want people to see that we're getting something done. I want people in the stands to think that we are getting something done at practices, and not just sitting up there and wondering, why can't these people do anything yet? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would like, that's what I mean. I would like to see something click, and all of a sudden, here we are. We're doing some real good things again. We've waited this long. We've looked really bad sometimes, and we've seen really small flashes of things that are good, but not nearly enough of those. I still insist that we are not as bad as our 3-14 record. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but when I see what I see every day, I think that we're capable of more than what we're doing. I don't know that we could have won some of these games on the schedule. Some of the ones that, some of those teams are just better than we are.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see that we show some improvement, and I would like to see us get to a point where it's more fun enough that people want to start the off season, that people want to start in the spring, and people want to show up in the summertime.
That's important,
and just get better.
Yeah.
We didn't have a summer this year because I didn't get the job until late June, and then 4-H season begins. And at North Newton, there's a lot of people involved in stuff.
You're probably kind of behind the 8 ball then when that happens, right?
We're behind everybody. I mean, we're just now starting to learn some of the offenses and really feel comfortable
when that
with,
could have been done in the summertime.
Right. Things that we've started to learn in October, they're starting to look decent.
Mm-hmm.
And we could have come into October looking like that.
Right.
And hopefully next year that's exactly what it'll look like. But yeah, definitely behind things.
Chris, thanks for coming down. I appreciate it, and good luck to the next 2 nights, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Chris York from the North Newton Lady Spartans. Back to close things out with Wes Radke from the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers after this on 3KGthekage.com.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facial, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
And when the music starts, you got to be quiet. That's 7 or 8 years, and you still don't know when to talk.
Hey, I'm the last guy here. You can't talk to me that way.
I can't. You are.
Yeah, you'd be talking to yourself if I get up and leave. Then you got nobody to talk to.
Oh, man. Well, you see where our partner is tonight. He's missing in action. First, Bill's a little under the weather, so hopefully Bill will get better. And
hopefully he does. That's true.
Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Wes Radke from the Rensselaer Central Lady Bombers. We haven't talked since December the 14th. So
it's been a year since I talked to you.
It has been a year. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, my golly. Look at all those games you got to talk about.
What are you talking about? I don't know games to talk about.
See this? That's when you start talking about those games. All the way down to there. So.
I came to talk to you about what I got to face tomorrow and after that, because all those games were last year.
You don't want to rehash any of those games, huh? You don't even bring your book.
I didn't bring the book because I wasn't going to rehash all those games.
Hey,
other than the fact that we beat Lowell on December 20th.
You can't remember the other.
Well, I mean, yeah, we played a tough Andrean team that was. I mean, we took them to the wire. That was a heck of a game. If you weren't there, crickets, you missed a heck of a game.
I did miss that one
because that was a good game.
Busy.
Yeah. So you forgot, huh?
You lost.
I did, but it was a good game.
I did watch that, though.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
We were back and forth with a very highly ranked Andrean team that we should have we had that game, we should have won it, but
well, we already talked about that.
Now
you're starting to talk about that again.
You asked?
No, I said from the 16th.
I know.
Or you haven't played this. We didn't
play the South Newton game, and we're not going to, so we're moving on to Lowell, and we played Lowell at home before Christmas break, and the girls played really well.
You have a lot of success against Lowell, if I remember correctly.
We do. We haven't lost to them yet, and we played.
You can remember those right off the top of your head.
Yeah, because it's always the last game before Christmas break.
Is it?
And we always, sometimes they're tough games, and then games like that the other night where on the 20th we played really well. We just came out right away and just buried them, put them away quickly, and didn't mess around with them. And
you should do that every game.
It'd be nice. Yeah, that's the game plan going in all the time, but doesn't always seem to be that way.
No, it doesn't.
So, we've had a long break in here where we haven't had any games, and the girls are itching to get back into the gym and play against somebody. So tomorrow night will be that first test against North White at North White. So, we're looking forward to seeing what we got going. I know I'm sure they're tired of being in the gym with me as I love being in the gym with them, but I think they get tired of listening to me the whole time. And so they're ready to play a game on tomorrow night, so we're looking forward to that.
North White, I know they always have a tough defense, don't they?
They play, Coach has got them playing that 2-3 zone, and they just play it really well and very disciplined. And he gives them the abilities to put them in the situations in the games. And playing there is never easy. We always struggle going there. So it's going to be a good challenge for us tomorrow night coming off of Christmas breaks. And it's only a 2-quarter JV because we're down a player right now. And Jessie Fleming, who blew her shoulder out.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, she dislocated her shoulder over the summer, and then she did it again against BC, and then it was getting a little bit better, then did it again. So she's at a point now where she's gonna get it looked at and get evaluated, and so right now we've kind of told her to hold off until we get a better idea of what's going on, and hopefully with a lot of prayers and a lot of hope that maybe it's something that we can deal with, and we'll see what happens after the doctors talk to her. But she's a starter, doing a lot of great things for us. Was playing some really good basketball. It's just a terrible injury that unfortunately sidelines her for a little bit. But she was doing a lot of great things and still comes to practice every day and encourages the girls and just a great kid, and unfortunate injury that hopefully she's going to bounce back from.
8-6. What do you think you are so far as a team?
I think we're better than 8-6. I think we're a way better team than that. We just, I'm going to pull the young card out. Just some early losses that, with a little more grit on us, a little more time on some things, we would handle those situations differently, and we would have some wins there that we've turned into losses, and you always look back at your schedule, at least I do, and think, man, if I could play them again, and unfortunately some of those teams we lost to, we don't play again. Same aspect, there's two teams in particular with Twin Lakes and BC who we could possibly play against, either one of them to win a sectional.
Is Twin Lakes still undefeated?
Yes.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're still undefeated, and we played them really well for 3 quarters, and so we got to put a game together here, and the next couple of games, we played North White, which is going to be tough, and then we got to travel Saturday to CC to play in a conference game against Central Catholic, who's playing really well right now, and then got to play North White and West Lafayette. North Newton and West Lafayette in there. So, those are some good competition that we have to get ready for as well, and we have, I think, 8 games left.
8 games. So what are you trying to accomplish the month of January here?
To win those last 8 games, all of them, get some momentum going into sectionals, some confidence.
Is that realistic?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And people can say, well, West Lafayette's really doing well. They're ranked as well, and so is CC, and they're your conference. You haven't had a lot of success against them. You know what? We're working and getting better every day and doing a lot of great things and having some kids step up. So it's realistic for us.
I like your attitude, though. You gotta be able to think you can win, right?
Well, I have to. If you go into a game thinking you're not going to win this game, why play it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do what we do? And when we step on the court, I want my girls to have the confidence to know that we just got to give ourselves a chance to win the game. And sometimes you get beat by good teams. It just happens, but you're still going into that game thinking I can knock them off, because in a given night, it's that old cliche. In a given night, anybody can beat anybody.
Sure.
So why not? Why can't it be us? Why not? And so, and I like the challenges that faces with us. That, hey, how are you going to face these last 8 games? And I typed that to the girls. We have 8 games left. How are you going to do this? It's not up to old coach here, because I want to coach and do the things I can do, but I can't play.
You can't.
I can't play, unfortunately. I can't play, but you girls can. You guys are the ones that hold your own destiny in your own hands and can do the things that need to be done, and so it's a good challenge for us. I look forward to it. Against some good quality opponents, and some of those games are away. A few of them will be home, and looking forward to some more basketball with these young ladies.
When do you start thinking about the sectional, or do you think about that the whole year?
Right now, I'm just taking it. Right now, with these girls, we really just take it a game at a time. As far as the ultimate goal is to win sectional. That is the ultimate goal, but we're still looking at conference as well. We're still looking at getting better in each game. But we really don't start honing in onto the sectional until, those last two games where the draw comes out as we start looking ahead as far as what goes. But we try to keep the girls focused on one game at a time, one step at a time, and not looking past anybody, because these last 8 games set the precedent for sectionals. You don't look past anybody. You got to work hard every time. You got to show up, and you got to put forth that effort. You got to outwork your opponent, and every day in practice has got to be a better improvement than it was yesterday. And if you had a bad practice, you got to put it behind you, and you just got to accept whatever coach, whatever I say or do, you got to accept and say, yes, coach, I got to get better. We in practice today, I got onto the girls. You make a bad pass, yes, coach, it was a bad pass. I'll do better. Instead of putting your head down, saying, woe is me, and like, oh, coach is just yelling at me. No, coach, you're right. That was a bad pass. I need to make a better decision and move on from that. That wasn't a good shot, or I need to finish more. Yes, coach. So it's those mindsets that we have to keep working towards for sectional, so we're not looking past them.
Through 14 games, what are the things that have pleased you about your team, and some of the things you really need to work on these last 8 games?
I think the number one thing that's really pleased me is that they never gave up. Every game we've been in, no matter if we're winning or losing, they don't give up. They fight the entire time. They fight hard. They don't just give up and just quit. They keep going the entire time, no matter what the score is. So that's one thing I've been very pleased with these girls, is they fight to the end, to that final buzzer sounds the entire time. What we need to improve on is we need to be more consistent in putting the ball in the hole. We can put up points, yeah, but we need to find that consistency in our shots, and that consistency of, okay, we've hit one shot, now another shot, and getting past just 3 in a row, 4, 5, 6. When you look at those elite teams, when you look at those teams that are really good, they have the ability to go on runs where they're scoring 7, 8 points in a row, buckets in a row, and that's what separates them from other teams. And that's one thing we've been really working on and trying to get better at, is the more consistency in our shot and our confidence of knocking them down, because we have the ability. I have the girls that can do it. We just got to get more confident in that. So those are the two things. Again, I've loved the fight. I've loved the tenacity. I've loved the heart of this team. And then trying to continuously get better at our shots and being more consistent in those.
You got to quit fouling, too.
You got to quit fouling. And that's something we've in practice we've harped on a lot, is you foul, you're going to run. We do a drill where it's a competitive drill, and if you foul, you argue with me because I called a foul. Whether you foul or not, it's, there's consequences to those things. So we've really tried to fix that, but part of that is not because they're being lazy. It's just they're being too aggressive,
right?
And we've got to find a happy medium there.
You can't foul on the back. You guys foul on the back.
We find the back court a lot.
Yeah, 90
feet away from the basket, way too much. Sometimes I think we foul even out of bounds, and we've got to quit doing that stuff. Yeah. And when that far away, they're not going to hurt us.
Right.
When a girl's out that far away at half court, she's not going to hurt us there.
Right.
So, and then we also sometimes give up a lot of and ones, which is you sometimes they'll foul harder out at half court than they do from the girl getting a shot up.
Right.
And so we just have to get better and be smarter about things and learn how to play with our feet more, because we are quick when we want to be than with our hands so much.
How's Central Catholic doing this year?
They're again, I think they've lost a few. They played a tournament down in Vincennes, I think down south over Christmas, and they lost a few there. So I think they're like 10-6 right now, and maybe even less than, maybe 10-3 or something like that. But they're playing really well. They're not as big as they've been in the past. They're very quick guards. They've got a good trio of the Thompson girl, the Barrett girl, a few other girls that they throw in there that can put the ball up a lot, and they're very quick, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on us. And so it's going to be a good test to see how we handle that pressure, both half court and full court. With traps and different adjustments that they make, and then for us to be able to handle their speed on the defensive end, to be able to guard people and know where they're at, and be able to do some things. So, it's going to be a good test for us. And, a boy-girl doubleheader. So the varsity girls will play first, and then the JV, again, will play only 2 quarters at CC. So it's going to be a good test for us.
Tell us, before we let you go here, Wes, who's your conference playoffs? Is that where the third-place team from the East plays the third-place team from the West?
So it's kind of a crossover.
But you don't know who you're going to play.
Right, yeah, because we'll find out once we get through West Lafayette, CC West Lafayette here in the next couple of weeks. We'll figure out, and the other side will be done, and who we play.
Do you like that situation?
I do, because we play teams we don't normally face.
Right.
Now, I would love to be up in our conference is the number 1 conference in the state. When you look at win-loss records, you look at Sagarin, you look at all the things. The Hoosier Conference is the top in girls basketball. Is the top. Harold has it up there at the top, and
gotta make you proud, doesn't it?
Well, when you look at that, a lot of times you got Twin Lakes, you got BC, you've got Northwestern, all in that conference. Tipton, like last year, they were ranked high. West Lafayette always ranked high in the state, and then they're in our sectional. So you have all these teams in your sectional, and it's just good quality basketball. But it kind of sucks because if you're not ready to play, you're done.
You're done.
And our conference gets us ready for sectional for the people who are going to play again.
Yeah.
So we possibly now, we can play Twin Lakes twice, we can play BC 3 times, and potentially play West Lafayette twice. By the time sectional rolls around.
Wow.
So it's just one of those situations where you just kind of say it doesn't matter. We got to handle what's the business of what's set before us, and that Hoosier Conference, that crossover game, gives us the ability to play some different teams. In the past, we played Hamilton Heights, we played Lewis Cass a few times, we played Western. We haven't had a chance to play Tipton or Northwestern yet, or anyone else on the other side other than those teams in particular. But
Hamilton Heights
we played once when we beat it would have been Sidney Van Meter's senior year, and we beat CC. We got to play for third in the conference at Hamilton Heights, and they lit us up that game, and they were pretty good that year. So some great competition in our conference that helps us for sectional, and it's good quality basketball, and it's not an easy task when it comes to the fact that you're playing for position. And if you win our conference, that's saying something.
It is.
That's what we're hoping to get to one of these days.
Now, are you still locked into this Lafayette tournament next year and the previous years, or no?
As far as I know, we are. I haven't heard anything else different.
I didn't know if that was a 2-year run or a 3-year, 4, or
I'm not sure either. What Mr. Hickman has signed us up for with that,
and you're okay with that tournament too?
Yeah, I mean, if we could get one during Christmas time like everybody else, it'd be great too. So, but our conference, our schedule, unless some things happen, it's kind of set there for a little bit, and so it's going to be kind of difficult here and there. But you never know what might happen. Who knows? I like that competition. I don't necessarily like playing BC again, the tournament I'm playing again, but
right.
Playing McCutcheon was good for us. We've played Jeff now 2 years in a row. We've beaten them 2 years in a row.
I like to see those 3 and 4A schools on your
it helps you out. It helps out, and the state notoriety. It helps to strengthen your schedule, and it's just nice to be able to play some bigger schools that have some tradition and have some basketball backgrounds to them that we can able to get on the floor and see if we can compete with them.
So you want to be 15 or 16-6?
Yeah, I would love to be that. Nothing. So since I've been here, it's now 7 years, and
wow,
we're almost at 100 wins. We're at 91 wins right now.
You haven't been there that long.
Yeah,
seventh year.
So since I've been,
seems like yesterday.
Yeah. So for the pro, obviously I know Rensselaer girls basketball. They've scored over 100 wins before, but since I've been here, 100 wins for the program would say something to all these girls, both present and past players. So it's something where we're taking it very serious and trying to get those. And if we don't, I understand we don't, but it's a nice goal for these girls to shoot for and to try to get. And it may have to come during sectional, and that make it even better to make those runs and to do those things. But for a program to do that, and since I've been here in that amount of time to reach that has been good, especially when you look back at the COVID years when we didn't have all those games.
Right.
Who knows what might have happened, but it's a goal we're shooting for and trying to get at, and looking forward to the opportunity. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we'll try it again next year. But it's been a fun year. It's went really fast.
Sure.
I mean, when I told the girls that we have 8 games left, minus depending, obviously at the time the South Newton game is off, so it's went that fast.
Yeah, it seems like everything's packed in November and December now.
And now we've had this time off, and it's how are we going to react
to
these next couple games and that time off and playing. And so I'm very anxious and very curious to see how the girls are going to respond, and see how they continue to grow as a team and continue to do some really great things. We're looking forward to it.
Before I let you go, can you give us another update on Jessie Ring and how she's doing now this year?
Actually, while you were interviewing, she's playing right now down in Anderson.
Really?
Yeah, they were playing Anderson. It was 31-31 at halftime. She's starting. She's playing. She's getting up and down the floor, doing some really good things. Last time I looked, she was averaging around 10, 12 points a game.
You expected that, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I expect maybe a little bit more as an old coach, but I haven't got a chance to go watch her personally yet. I've watched online, and her and I will text back and forth every now and then. And she came and watched the game against Andrean, and she texted me. She's like, I had anxiety. And I said, and the game's different now because she has a shot clock.
Oh, yeah.
So the game is a whole lot faster.
Sure.
And so she's like, holy cow. And I'm like, I tried to tell you guys that shot clock changes a lot of things for the speed of the game and decisions you make. You don't have time to sit around and dilly-dally with the basketball. You got to move because you got that 30 seconds. So she's doing some really good things, and I think they traveled out to Ohio for a holiday tournament, and she did nice there. So she's doing some pretty good things and doing a nice job for Manchester, and hopefully we'll find some time to go watch her play in person and get a chance to cheer her on. But very proud of what she's doing, and she's making a lot of good strides there.
Think Indiana high school basketball will ever see a shot clock or no?
I think so.
Eventually?
I think so eventually. Yeah. I think there's enough grumbling and enough when you're looking at things that somewhere down the line.
Would that change your style of coaching?
No.
I
think because I tried to do that with the girls, I think we try to impress that issue. Now, again, without it, it's easier to say stand there and hold the ball and work it around and get a shot when you're up. But if you're good at what you're doing in that 30 seconds, you can still do the same exact thing.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I'm not telling you anything or anybody else that's watched college basketball that knows that you can still get a quality shot off in 30 seconds and pass that ball around. It's just a matter of getting it done. But I think somewhere along the line, it's eventually going to happen. When? I don't know, but I just think that somewhere along the way it'll eventually take place.
All right, Wes, we appreciate you coming in. Did you see this picture I showed you there?
Why would your daughter do that? All the things, all the places, all the people to see, and she wanted to take a picture with him. Why?
He's 7'4". She's 5'2".
Well, that in itself is not a very. I'm not sure about why. I mean, she could have went to Bloomington and found somebody.
She's a Purdue fan, so.
Oh my God.
Which, as most people are around here, so.
I can't believe I have to. Oh, we did take the girls down to IU.
Good. I saw pictures of that.
Yes, that was good.
Great, huh?
Yeah, it was really good. And
they're really good this year, aren't they?
Yeah, they played well, and it was a good game against Butler, so it was good. The girls enjoyed themselves. It was teddy bear night. So you had to bring teddy bear for the boys-girls club. So my wife went and bought these teddy bears for the girls, and we had this really two big, huge pink teddy bears. And so Taylor Van Meter has one. I forget who has the other one. So we're behind me, and the announcer comes on and says, now, you fans down the front row, here comes the teddy bears. Just be aware. all of a sudden you see a pink teddy bear go chuck and hit this guy in the back of the head, and we thought it knocked him out. I thought it was over. And I thought, great, we're going to get kicked out of here, Van Meter, because you just knocked a guy out with a pink teddy bear. So, but we did. We had a good time. The girls enjoyed themselves. I think it was good to go watch a quality team and both Indiana teams. I mean, Butler played well. It was a good game. So it was good for us to go and do that, and was nice. And then also, I keep forgetting to mention this, the girls adopted a young boy by the name of Chase. Chase is a 4th grader diagnosed with leukemia. Chase has had a really rough time at Riley's.
In our school system?
No. One of the girls, Brooke Keipke's mom, does homeschooling with him.
Uh-huh.
And so she reached out to me and said, hey, are you willing to do something for this young boy? And she told me, and so the girls wanted to adopt him for Christmas.
Beautiful.
So the girls have their money that they have from their shoot-a-thon stuff and the things they do, and so we went shopping for Chase and got him some Christmas gifts and some clothes.
Nice is that?
And the girls enjoyed themselves. So Chase had some time where he was in and out of the hospital with things, and he just wasn't doing well. And so over Christmas, then Brooke's mom sent me some pictures of him opening up the gifts.
Oh, wow.
The girls got him in there.
That's
and
amazing.
it is great to see that. And, that's something that I take a lot of pride in with these girls, that, it's community. It's helping those that need helped. It's bigger than basketball. It's teaching them to be humble.
Absolutely.
It's teaching them to be human.
Absolutely.
And be kind. And you never know what you might be faced with. And this young boy, I've never met him personally. I've seen the pictures. But I don't need to meet him personally to know that he needed something. And we were able to provide that for him. So the girls did a fantastic job. And, again, that's something you won't see in the headlines. That people,
no kidding,
but that's all right. Because those are the things that need to be done, that we don't need all those things in life. But I just want to give a shout-out to my girls for that support for that young boy, and just continue to remember that young man in your prayers. So.
Great.
All right. I'm glad I could shut her down.
I'm still waiting on my Christmas present from you, but I guess I can
wait a minute. It goes 2 ways. This is your Christmas present. I'm here. I didn't. You waited to save me for last.
We've got to cut away on that one.
You start off the new year even better.
Oh boy!
It can only get better from now on.
I guess.
You go home and tell your wife, said, "Honey, I had the greatest Christmas present and the greatest New Year. I got to see Wes Radke
again.
Again.
He came back one more time,
and he waited last. He shut the place down.
He shut it down.
Nobody even stayed.
Nope. All right.
My wife's texting me, telling me to shut up. My wife is. She's had enough.
All right. So. Well, we better adhere to her wishes then and shut you up. So, thanks for all your time here. Appreciate it.
I appreciate coming.
A blast.
Yeah, it's a good, and thank you for your friendship. It's been good, and I enjoy coming and talking with you about the girls and having some fun, because you know what, this is fun.
It is fun.
That's what it is. I take it serious, but it's fun to coach these girls. It's fun to coach these high school athletes, whether it's in football, whether it's in basketball, whether it's in golf, whatever I'm coaching, whatever I'm doing with these kids. It's fun. It's a blessing, and you got to have fun with it.
And you coaches make it fun every Wednesday, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Wes. See you later.
And I told my girl cutting my hair, I told her, I said, one of these days I might just get paid just to coach. She quit cutting my hair. She said, would that pay enough? I said, I don't do it for the money. I do it for the fun.
Wes Radke.
All right, we'll see you.
Back to wrap things up after this on the Cage.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117, or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics. Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hey, tell Wes to go out the right door there before he breaks it down there. So anyway, hey, we enjoyed the show, and thank all the coaches for coming out for sure, and thank Arnie's for hosting us. Scotty Miller, great job back there as always running the board. Saturday night, girls boys doubleheader, Midwest Conference style. South Newton hosting North White. 4:45 Central Time pregame for the girls game, and 5 o'clock tip-off followed by the boys. For Scotty Miller and Bob Kurtz, saying so long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.